So friends, very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us in today's joint meeting with Rotary Club of Thane Royals and joint meeting with Rotary Club of Thane Smart City. First, I call the meeting to order. The topic of today's discussion is speaker meeting is basic precaution to be taken on social media by our very own speaker, Rotarian Past President VIjay Kewalramani. I would like to ask our Rotary Club of Thane Smart City Secretary, Priyanka Deshpande, to please welcome the speaker and dignitaries and all the club members.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. It is so wonderful to see all in large number across the globe. Myself, Prajakta Deshpande, Secretary, Rotary Club of Thane Smart City. I would like to welcome today's honorable speaker, past President Rotarian VIjay Kewalramani, fellow Rotarians from the Rotary Clubs, our enthusiastic audience from the digital platform, and also all my Rotarian friends across the globe. Welcome you all. Now I hand over the session to Rotarian Ramya for the four-way test. Over to you, Rotarian Ramya. Thank you.
Thank you, Prajakta. Good evening, everyone. This is Ramya Shurigar, Project Manager of Rotary E-Club of Thane Smart City. Here, I would like to perform four-way test before we start with the session. It's my request to everyone to follow me during the four-way test. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. The first thing, is it the truth?
The truth.
Is it true?
Second, is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ramya.
Yes.
Now, I would like to request Rotarian Sanjeev Gosavi from Rotary Club of Thane Royals to address the objects of Rotary. Over to you, Rotarian Sanjeev. Sorry, Sandeep, are you going to take this?
Yeah, I'm there.
Sorry, by Rotarian Sandeep. Rotarian Sandeep, please.
Yeah.
Take it.
Can you make it slightly? Okay. Thank you, President Tej. The objects of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster, first, the development of an acquaintance as an opportunity of service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. And fourth, just hold on. Fourth one, okay, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. That's all.
Thank you, Rotarian Sandeep. I would now like to request President Priyanka to introduce the speaker. Over to you, President Priyanka.
Thank you so much, President Tej, for this opportunity. It's my immense pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Rotarian, past President VIjay Kewalramani. Past President VIjay Kewalramani, a chartered accountant by profession, in a practice from last 25 years. He is a well-educated person, which can be seen by his educational qualification, which goes as under BCom, LLB, LLM, FCA, MBA Finance, CMA from Australia, Diploma FR from UK. He has also obtained certification in the forensic accounting. He is practicing in the field of direct taxes appellate and fraud investigation apart from the routine practice of chartered accountancy. He has also delivered lectures and presented papers at various professional and other forums, including Rotary clubs on the wide range of topics like fraud investigations, limited liability partnerships, cyber crimes, black money, income tax, to name as a few. He has also been training government auditors through the Indian Audit and Accountant Boards on the topic like risk management and fraud detection. He had been invited to train the government supreme auditors from Afghanistan on fraud detection. He also authored a book published by All India Federation of Tax Practitioners, Western Zone, titled as Limited Liability Partnerships Simplified Through Frequently Asked Questions. He has also written various articles in various professional magazines on limited liability partnerships. C.A. Vijay was introduced to the Rotary at a tender age of 11, when his father, late Sri Narayanan Kewalramani, who has been his ideal and mentor, joined as a chartered member of Rotary Club of Thane East. He then went on become one of the most successful presidents in his year 1985-86. His mother, Srimati Umadevi Kewalramani, is also a past president of Inner Wheel of Thane East Club. C.A. Vijay himself was a charter president of Rotaract Club of Bombay Mulund East in 1990-91, where he successfully led a new club to its height. Rotary has been built in his DNA, which can also be seen from the fact that he has taken his CA training under the guidance of late PDG Jagdish Khanna, who was a very dedicated Rotarian. C.A. Vijay joined Rotary Club of Thane Premium in January 2015 and was adjured as Best New Rotarian of the club in the very first year of the induction. He was also rewarded as a Best Rotarian Award of the club. In subsequent year 2015-16, he was Honorable Secretary of Rotary Club of Thane Premium in year 2016-17. Then he joined a club now known as Rotary Club of Thane Royals as Honorary Secretary come President-elect for year 2017-18, and he has been President for year 2018-19, where he has been instrumental in helping revive the club. Since joining Rotary in year 2015, he has visited over 35 clubs across the length and breadth of the country, from Jammu in north to the Kanyakumari in south, from Kolkata in east to the Vadodara in the west. During pandemic period since April 2020, he has attended over 300 online meetings of over 45 clubs in different 15 countries across the globe. He has friends in India, Nepal, Ghana, Nigeria, UK, Pakistan, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, USA, Canada, Russia, Israel, Indonesia, Jamaica, Brazil, Chile, Spain, Zambia, Liberia, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Singapore, to name a few. Which can be made out from the fact that he has been invited as an honorary member of Rotary Club of Tema Nigerian, Rotary District 9102, Ghana. And he has also been made a global coordinator for a global grant project initiated jointly by several clubs of Nigeria. He has also delivered various talks in various Indian and international clubs on the topic relating to the Rotary, like Rotary and Peace, My TRF Journey, and Rotaract Relationship, to name a few. C.A. Vijay is a multiple Paul Harris Fellow and also Paul Harris Society member. His late father was also a Paul Harris Fellow, and his wife, Dr. Gayatri son, Saurabh, also who is a Rotractor, also a fellow. He was a secretary of TRF3 during year 2016-17 in newly formed District 3142, Avenue co-chair TRF2 in year 2019-2020, Avenue co-chair District Thrust Area 1 for year 2020-2021, and has also been nominated as Avenue Chair International Services for year 2020 and 22 and District Treasurer for 2022-23 in RI District 3142. Congratulations, sir. He is supported by his better half, Dr. Gayatri, who is MD in microbiology and is working as an associate director in a multinational company, and his son Saurabh is studying. His hobbies are traveling, networking, socializing, and reading. Apart from this, he is also involved in various professional and other associations at various levels. For example, he is the president of Tax Friends for year 2016-2018, 2018 to 2020. He was president of Tax Practitioner Association Thane for year 2018 to 2020. National Treasurer of All India Federation of Tax Practitioner, a national body of the tax practitioner for year 2021. Steering committee member of ICMA Australia Indian chapter and president of American Institute of Syndology Indian chapter. So with this brief introduction, I present to you Rotarian past president CA VIjay Kewalramani. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka ji, for the introduction. I don't think that I deserve this much, but thank you very much. Friends, today's topic was different when we were thinking in our club what to do, and it's been long. And in today's world, since we have been using online, so it was important to understand the nitty-gritties of using social media. There have been lots of problems that we see day in and day out relating to social media. So it was thought that we also bring in some topic which will help the people. And I will be speaking moreover in the Indian context, because ultimately it affects India. There are a lot many fake messages and social media violations going on. Yes, it will definitely help everybody else also while using. And I will not also only be touching the use of social media, but also the use of internet, what basic precautions we need to take up. At the outset, I would like to thank our President Tejinder for giving me the opportunity, and also thank President Priyanka for joining our club as a joint host for this important topic, so that people can take the advantage. I would also like to personally thank all my visiting guests who have come to hear me from all across the globe. Friends, when we speak about social media, why we speak about social media or cyber crime? So what thought comes to us when we think about cyber crime? That somebody from the computer is stealing something from my this thing. That the computer is stealing something from me, that's my wallet, as you can see. So the computer, some hand from the computer is coming and stealing my wallet. That is what we refer to as financial theft, the money getting lost across the internet by use of various means. Or in today's parlance, what we see is cyber terrorism, that somebody coming out with a gun. This is nothing but called as cyber terrorism. But we'll not be going into all this. We'll just restrict ourselves to basic precautions for social media and internet. We may touch upon, time permitting, to these issues. So friends, what is cyber crime? If you look at the Indian Penal Code, crime is defined as some act which is done deliberately to hurt somebody with an intention to cause hurt to that person. So supposing I am moving on a road and I unintentionally hit a person and that person falls off, that would not be a crime also. That may result in his head getting banged to a stone and his head bleeding a lot, but still that would not come in the definition of a crime. But if I have deliberately pushed somebody so that he falls out with the intention that he gets hurt, maybe he goes unscathed, but that would still come in the definition of crime. So we'll just take it a step further and try to understand what is cyber crime. So cyber crime can be defined as offenses that are committed against individuals or group by use of modern technology like telecommunication networks, modems, to intentionally harm the reputation of the victim or cause physical or mental harm. So friends, it is important that a harm is intended to be done, and the use of technology like modems, telecommunication and chat rooms and all is done. Having said that, we need to also try and understand who are the victims of cybercrime. Before going to social media platform, I would just like to briefly highlight all this, and then we'll go. Individuals, we as individuals, I and all others, President Tej, Priyanka, Prajakta, Umesh, everybody is affected. Then corporates and organizations are also affected of cybercrime. There are a lot many issues that we listen, that their data was hacked and the data is stolen, all that. And it doesn't restrict to only individuals and corporates, but it also involves nations or group of nations. We would be listening that some nation cyber attack goes to a national level, that a nation has been attacked. Recently, they had tried to attack our DRDO site, the Pentagon site was tried to be attacked and all that. So it affects the nations also as a whole, or maybe a group of nations. So what are the types of cyber crimes? The first one is hacking. Then social, we will go into everything into a bit in some time. Then cybercrime happens through social media, which is the main topic that we'll be looking into how it does happen. Then there are financial thefts that are going on, which we refer to. This is the most important thing that we do, especially in the South Asian countries and the African continent. It is seen copyright infringement. Maybe there is more awareness in Europe and advanced developed countries like Singapore or maybe US. It is less, but this side, this affects more, which we will be looking into what is copyright infringement. And then piracy. So friends, what is hacking? Hacking is nothing but what can be hacked is hacking is nothing but entering into somebody else's data and getting it without his permission. But nowadays, what is happening, friends, is we are using mails like AOL, Gmail, and Yahoo. Practically every of our mail is hacked technically, if you would like to see. Like supposing I have a Gmail account and I write to my President Tej, that President Tej, I would be visiting so and so, or maybe I would take another example. I write to Tema President Philip, that President Philip, I would be visiting Ghana on so and so date. What you find within seconds is that ads popping up, that hotels in Ghana, 2 trips in Ghana. What is it? Nothing but that your mails are being read. And somebody is trying to read your mail, he's trying to enter, and based on that, they are giving you ads. This may not be harming you, but definitely your mails day in and day out are being hacked, is being read. The moment you book a travel ticket, what happens is, if you are on Gmail and that travel ticket is put up on Gmail, you will notice that the Google Calendar is updated with your ticket dates. So what it does, it just reads your mail and updates your Google Calendar. Although it may be supportive, but technically it is attack. Then computers and networks, we have heard that various computers are attacked, data is being copied, various company data is being hacked, and maybe for various reasons, which I would not like to go into at this point of time. And then this is the most important thing. What happens is the social media accounts being hacked. Day in and day out, you hear that something, we especially in India, we get messages that, friends, my Facebook account has been hacked because some messages are going that I am stuck over here, I need money, I need support, but I have sent no such messages on my social media. So please take care, it has been hacked. So this is one very serious thing that goes on here. Now we come to the most important thing that we are here for, social media. Social media, friends, what is social media that we use is, this is the most common one, WhatsApp. Then we use Facebook, Twitter, then your Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, and now the latest one in India it is started is the Koo app, which I have not put in. So this is what we use day in and day out, the social media. So we have to be alert while using it. What effect does threats of using social media, what are the basic threats what we take, then we go to the precautions what we have to take, but we have to understand what are the threats of using social media. First is trolling, fake mails, sham. So many a times what happens is, especially in Indian subcontinent, what happens is if a lady has put up a photo and you find many a times that men going after them, they are trolling them, they are putting some reckless things about them in the public social media domain, which is not advisable, but this happens. Other is on Facebook, and also you have to develop your caution because there's a social risk and most of it is fake mails. Nowadays, recently, even the Indian government has taken action. Just last week, the Indian government has passed rules regarding operation of social media. That now, earlier what used to happen was Twitter and Facebook, many people used to put in some messages, they used to just get out. When Twitter and Facebook were asked to take action, they never used to take action. So now the Indian government has passed the regulation last week that if any message is put up, it will be the responsibility of the platform concerned, maybe you Twitter, maybe YouTube, maybe Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, to provide the source who has put up the message, what is the reason and what action. Based on that, the government will be planning to take action on that. So this is important. This is all going. So we have to be cautioned that when we are putting messages, what happens is we normally what we do with Twitter, we just like messages, we just retweet the messages. Facebook and WhatsApp, we just forward the messages without even thinking over it. So friends, what I would put a caution to you is that please look into what are the messages that you are posting. Think about it, whether it is correct or wrong. Many a times what happens is if you have a doubt, all you can do is just go to Google and try to search out the message, whether it is correct. I'll just give you a small example that many a times it is run that so and so product is having by using so and so product it is liable, you are liable to attract AIDS and all that. So you please go and check. What they say is it has been reported on so and so national television. So what you can do is you go to that national television website, just try to confirm before forwarding. Don't just forward it just because it is come to you that it is correct. There are many a times fake messages coming on. And what happens is if you circulate fake messages, you may also be liable for punishment and penalty. So please take care that you are aware and you just don't circulate fake messages and thereby avoid the social risk. Now we come to individual threats of social media. The first one is impersonation or morphing. How does this go is, supposing normally when the trolls come in, what they do is they don't use their original identity. What they would do is they would use a picture of somebody. So supposing they use my picture, they would be using somebody else's name, they would be putting somebody else's addresses, because now it is not, nowadays Twitter and all, they are trying to confirm it through your mobile number. Earlier nothing used to be done, so old accounts were there. So if I have to troll you around, I would just open a impersonated account, or maybe if I have to play with all your personal data, your data is already there on the Facebook, I would just copy it, create a new account, just put, and by your name only, and then I would pass on certain vulgar messages and all that which are not suitable. Or maybe many times in case of ladies, there are messages put in that this is my number, please contact me and all that. Such type of messages are also doing the round. So can we know who's there's I think some background noise here.
I'll check.
Unless you can mute him.
Yeah. So this is what happens in impersonation or morphing, that somebody uses your name and starts sending wrong messages or starts trolling somebody, so you can be in a problem. The second effect is profile hacking. The whole of your profile is hacked, again for misusing. You can say not much of a difference between the two. Then there are identity thefts. And why this happens, I will give you certain cases which have happened in India. Again, as I said in the beginning, I will be speaking India specific thing. There have been certain cases that where somebody has a grudge against somebody, or maybe a boy had a crush for a lady and that lady did not respond. So what he did was he created a fake profile and then he approached that lady with something, some of the data and all that. Then as a lady, then they made friends. and ultimately when he called her to meet, and he murdered her. So it ended in a murder. So many a time this happens is that you never know who you are befriending with. So it's always important that you take a caution before befriending somebody. Fake messaging, as I earlier also told you, there are fake messaging, there are rumor mongering going on, especially, I don't know about others, but in Indian context, lot many rumor mongering, especially now that we have currently some protests are going on. Earlier also some other protests were going on, and false rumors were being given that the government is planning this, and just to create a furor among the people so that it affects the government. So a lot of this was going on. Before we go into all this, friends, I would just like to caution you one more thing, especially when we are using Facebook in India. What we do is many a times these accounts are tapped by many sort of people, many different types of people. Who are they? What happens is we are used to putting up each and every of our information on Facebook. I just got up, I'm washing my face, I'm having my breakfast, I'm traveling. Many a times what we do unknowingly, we put up information that my whole family is traveling to Australia. What happens is there are two people who are watching you. One is the thieves who are in your friend list. They would give you a good thumbs up. Thank you, sir. You go with your full family. You have left the home for me to come and rob you off. Point number one. The other one who is watching you is your friendly neighborhood taxman, who also keeps a track on your account. And then when you file your returns, then they will check out whether you are declared it. If you are not, then they will tell you, sir, your Facebook account says that you had gone with family to Australia and your income doesn't match that. How? Please explain to us how have you spent and where have you earned the money from. This also happens, and in India, notices have been issued by the taxman by getting information from the social media. So before putting up information on the social media, please be alert. It's not so simple. Now, friends, the other thing is financial terms, net banking. Nowadays in India, it's quite under control that before you do a net transaction, you get OTPs, multiple OTPs. Then there are other grid line verifications and all that before the payment goes off. But still, it's a risk. And so you please be safe. The basic thing is passwords. I will tell you later how to manage passwords and what type of passwords you should keep. So net banking is a threat, and through credit cards and fraudulent emails. In India, this happens as far as fraudulent emails is concerned. Many a times we receive emails stating that so and so of person somewhere in the UK or maybe somewhere in Africa, he has died and he has left you as a will. Now the person has to think over why an unknown person would leave a will for me for $30 million or $50 million without any cost if he doesn't know me. And many of us unknowingly fall for all that, which is wrong. And credit card also nowadays with the chip cards coming in and the PIN coming in, it has been controlled. But yes, when we are still doing international transactions on the net, it doesn't ask, it just takes my information, it doesn't give me my OTP and all that. So there still is a risk. But as far as Indian transactions are concerned, now with the chip card and the PINs and all concerned, it has been controlled to quite a big extent. Friends, we were speaking about copyright infringements. I'm going a bit fast because of the time constraint, because in Rotary we have to complete by 25 minutes. So copyright infringement, friends, what happens is data conflict infringement. This is the maximum what happens is tomorrow if my son has got a project that he has to prepare a project, whatever he do is he will go to the computer, he will search for Google, he will collect the data, he will take the forms, he will take the projections, and he will just put in the data. Friends, there's no harm in it, but there are two types of copyright issues. What data I am collecting, normally if you look at the website information, the source, what it says is many a times it says that this is the free to use data, please you can use it for your purpose. Many a time the website clearly states that before using this data, you have to obtain the permission of the author. So we don't look into that. It's always important that when we pick up the data, we have to see the authorization and the usage permissions. If it says that I have to obtain the permission, is my duty to send an email to that person that I want to use it for so and so person, so and so purpose. If it's a non-commercial purpose, most probably they will allow you to use it. If it's a commercial purpose, they may ask you to pay some amounts that may be chargeable. Or even if it is free to use, many a time, but it is my duty to explain the source of that information. What we do is we just copy and show it as a one information. We never say the source of the information. That is wrong. We have to mention the source of the information. That is very, very important. So friends, because in India, there are criminal punishments for violation of copyrights also, apart from the physical damages. So you have to be very alert. And one copyright, supposing I put in something on Google, as per the Indian laws, I have a right on that data for at least 50 years. So if somebody is misusing it, I have a right to claim damages from him and take suitable penal action against him. The next is software programs applications. Again, as I said, this is not more so in the Europe and American nations, but it does affect in this side of India. Yes, nowadays mostly it is controlled. So to avoid all this, what happens, friends, is there are free source softwares and applications available. If you just look on it, like supposing the most used is, say, I would give you two examples. One is WinZip. WinZip, what we do is it allows you a usage for a certain number of days. So what you have to do, either you pay it, or what in India, what we do is we just uninstall it and install it again. But then if you don't want to use WinZip and you want to be safe, there's another software called at 7-Zip available on a free source market. You can use that. It has no license fees and you can safely use it. Similarly, Microsoft Office, if you don't want to go for the paid version of Microsoft Office, you can go for something called as OpenOffice software, which is again an open source document and free to use. So you can definitely use that. So these are type of softwares which are available. You have to be just alert that this is available. Why do you want to go into all that? Now, piracy, again, in Indian parlance, it happens a lot, which needs to be controlled. Software programs and applications, many a times we just copy the software and start using it, not caring. But nowadays checks have been put in, and I am glad to inform that most of the people have now started using official softwares instead of going in for piracy. This is the one thing that's still prevalent in India, movie piracy. Many a times we see that now because of COVID, we have not been traveling much, but earlier also, when we are traveling by a bus or a public transport, we see that children watching movies in the mobile smartphones because they give you everything, and most of them it is pirated. There's, friends, we have to educate the people that this is a risk. It calls for criminal punishment up to 5 to 7 years of jail. So please don't encourage. And moreover, these guys who are preparing movies and all, they are involving a lot of money. So it is our duty to support them also by buying tickets and buying official versions and not going for the pirated versions of all this. Now, friends, we come to passwords. As I said, now we understood the threats. Now we understand what are the basic precautions. So first thing is the password. Password can be, normally what we do, we are used that I would put a password of my favorite, my name or my son's name, my family's name, date of birth and all that. Normally it says a capital letter, some special symbol and numerals and small letter. So supposing the password, this is the normal password, I would put Mugamur1940. This is the normal password, but this is not advisable. So what you do is, you need not worry about it. If you want to put it Mugamur1940, just tinkle it a bit. Maybe normally what we are used to is, if one capital is required, we put the first letter as the capital. Why can't the M in between or B in between can be capital? And if you have to put a special character, what we normally do is after Mugambo or after the end, we put a special character. Why can't we convert one of the easy letters like A to a @ and do this? This can be another option, can be, as I said, B can be a capital and 194. There are many options. Ultimately, the word is Mugambo 1940. How you write it, it's only you who know it. You also have a safe password. It is very difficult to hack these type of passwords. Second example I would like to give, say Shakal 1960. So here again, A at the end is there. S can be converted to a dollar, and these are easy to remember. One can be done to a exclamation, L can be done to exclamation, A can be converted to a at the rate, E can be converted to a at the rate, 0 can be a dot or a star, or you can interchange 0 and O also. That can also be possible. So these are the examples. S can become an ampersand also. So these are the few examples that I wanted to give of a stronger password. I'm not saying they are hack proof, but definitely it is very difficult to hack these type of passwords. Now coming to the passwords, friends, it is important. Especially again, I would like to highlight in Indian circumstances where what happens, especially in case of Wi-Fi. What we do is normally in India, we don't configure the router. It is somebody else, the software, computer guy, hardware guy who comes and configures my router. Many a times what happens is he knows all the passwords. It is very important that first thing is we tell him, Baba, you please tell us what is the password. I will put in the Wi-Fi password inside. Moreover, I would also like to change the admin password of entering the router. So when we enter the router, normally every router has default password like admin password, or admin blank, or so these are the normal passwords, or admin play, or admin 123456. So these are the normal passwords for admin router entry. First thing is you cut off that point itself, change the password over there. Because there have been instances, especially I can tell you in India, where such open Wi-Fi's were kept, people were able, because once they enter your admin router, they can easily take your system password, Wi-Fi password, and threat mails have been sent to government. And when the government started inquiring, it so ended that poor guys whose Wi-Fi have been used have been harassed for no fault of them. But as I said, you cannot help it because you have committed a mistake by leaving your Wi-Fi open. So these Wi-Fi should be closed. Second thing, what happens is when a friend comes to my office or my house, Are sir, Vijay bhai, I would like to have your password. And what we do is we irresponsibly give him by saying loudly, this is my password. Please tell him, sir, please give me a smartphone or the laptop. I will enter the password, whosoever it may be. You enter it, and then there's a tick mark, connect automatically. Please remove the tick mark and give it to him. I don't think he would mind. It is for your safety. So what happens is once the moment he is out of your office, his connection is disconnected, and next time if he comes, he has to again request you. He cannot automatically start that connection. So it safeguards your data. So what are the safeguards that we need to have? One is the password, as I said. Change your passwords regularly. Don't speak out in the open. Many a times what we see is in the banks when we go, what happens is somebody says, Are, my password is not working, please let me know your password, and the other guy from the counter shouts, Are, this is my password. So anybody has it, so please be aware about that. Change your router settings yourself, very important. Maintain your privacy. Don't put every information on the public. What happens is, I'll tell you, tomorrow I may say that I have restricted the information to a few people. I put some information on my Facebook that I have got married and we put in a whole lot of jewelry and all that. So what we say, I have restricted to 10 number of people, so only 10 people would vote. No, friends, this is a mistake. You are sending it to 10 people, but tomorrow if that person gives you a thumbs up and his is an open profile, so all the people in his contact list will automatically see that picture. So ultimately it goes public. The first thing is, please don't put in private information. Whatever is required, reduce your usage. As far as putting information is there, only use social media for putting in information which may help others. Same thing, as I said, restrict your information flow. Then many a times in Facebook, I don't want to create a big list of 10,000 people, 10,000 friends on Facebook. Please restrict it. Only accept your known requests. Don't accept unknown requests. I don't know, just because I want to compete with a friend that, see, you got 3,000 friends on your Facebook. I have got 4,000 friends. Please don't go for that. You never know who's the friend who has joined you and what type of information he will be taking away from. And as I said, again, I would like to repeat, avoid personal information. Avoid my marriage, my child's photo. Please avoid. What we try to share everything, but many a times it can go haywire. I would like to acknowledge this and thank you very much for the presentation, and thanks everybody for listening to me patiently. I am open for questions if any, please. Anybody can raise hand and I will be willing to answer the questions. For any queries, please, you can raise your hand and unmute and we speak, ask your question. Yes, Peter, please. You have to unmute.
A view on the structure of a strong password.
Yeah.
I think all the obvious words we know are too weak. And I heard a suggestion that you should perhaps take a popular phrase and take the initial letters of a popular phrase or something more complicated. Do you have a view on how to remember a complicated password, or how simple, how complicated we should make them?
Peter, we in school, when we used to study, we were taught mnemonics, if you remember, shortcuts to remember big phrases or big things. So we can still use those technique. And many a times I tell you, I tell people openly that you must be, now I am old enough, but I must be having a crush in my school of college. So better to use her name and then tinkle with that name with using special characters and all that. That would be much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
VJ, this is Dr. Sam. How are you?
I'm good, Dr. Sam.
Very nice presentation. Say, what out of this wealth of knowledge that you shared with us, what would be the 3 top things that all of us should be aware of and follow as quick steps to protect ourselves?
The first and foremost, as I said, stop the crime at the entry point. So first, check your router settings that nobody should misuse. First and foremost is you change your router settings yourself, especially the entry point. Point number 2, try and avoid putting private information and personal information on the social media, because that is the most effect that affects. And be careful, as I said, while giving passwords or sharing passwords, please be careful. And there's no harm in asking a friend, you please give me your mobile, I will put in the password. Supposing I come to your office and I ask you, Dr. Sam, please share your password. You can say, Vijay, you share your mobile, I will enter the password. I don't think I would feel bad.
Okay.
These are the, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
I have a query.
Yes, please.
Okay, now you have been mentioning that if at all there is a misuse of photographs or misuse in the form of data with certain people, it might even be a child photograph which is misused in a certain way.
Yes.
Pertaining to India as a region, what should be the steps of action that any parent or any well-wisher should be taking in the event of such a thing happening?
The first thing is go and complain to the police.
You're talking about the normal police or the cyber police?
Both.
Both. In any particular sequence or an FIR? I mean, we need a guidance on the matter.
No, even if you go to a normal police, they will register a case with the cyber police only. And normally, basically, you have to, because there are 2 issues to it. One is a criminal offense that will be going to the normal police, that identity theft. The cyber police will be looking into the tracking of the who has done it, the criminal.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the prosecution is going to be done by the normal police, because they will be looking and they will take the help of the cyber police, who would be tracking the data and giving them the information through which IP it has come and who has misused the data. Based on that, they would be taking the action and the future proceedings will go on.
So the affected party just need to go on to the nearest police station and that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, please. Any other question? TG on, glad to have you here. Thank you. I think President H can take over. If there are no questions, then you can please continue.
Yes, sure. Okay. I would now like to present a certificate of appreciation to our speaker, Vice President Mr. VIjay Kewalramani.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
President H.
Thank you, Vijay, for the wonderful presentation. It was, we thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of information for us. Now I would like to ask Secretary Umesh from Rotary Club of Thane to be the secretary in the announcements. Umesh?
Thank you, President
Please
Tej.
unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, President Tej, for the time to make secretarial announcements. So first, friends, I would like to make a certain announcement in terms of happy announcements. So we have a birthday coming in this week, which is of Annette Gaurav Sanjeev Gosavi, son of our Rotarian Sanjeev ji. So we wish him a very happy birthday, which will be on 6th of March. And second, we have a wedding anniversary of our Rotarian Sunil Sali, which is again falling on the same date, which is 6th of March. So we wish both of them a very happy anniversary and also birthday wishes to Gaurav. Apart from happy announcements, I would like to announce that our next meeting, which is a weekly meeting, will be held on 10th of March at 8 p.m. India Standard Time, and the further details of the meeting will be shared to the club members of RC Thane Royals. Now I hand it over to Secretary Prajakta Deshpande from RCTS for secretarial announcements. Thank you.
Hi Umesh, actually Prajakta got disconnected and she's unable to connect. Just checked it in the waiting room whether she's there.
Uh, no, I can't see her. So if there are any announcements, you can
Yes.
make it, or else we can. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So it was a very informative lecture. Thank you so much, Rotarian VIjay Kewalramani, for this wonderful lecture, and thank you, Tej, for this opportunity for planning a joint meeting with us. So totally there were 58 members in the today's meeting, and for the happy announcement, we are having two birthdays in this month. And first is Arya Deshpande, that is our Prajakta Deshpande's son, and the second is my own birthday. And our next meeting will be there on the 14th of March. And at that time, we will celebrate our Women's Day project. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Priyanka. Our best wishes to you on your birthday.
Thank you
as
so
well
much.
as your members' birthday.
Yeah, I'll convey.
I would, yeah, thanks. Now I would like to ask President-elect Umesh to give the vote of thanks.
Thanks again, President Tej, for this opportunity to give vote of thanks. So, friends, I would like to first thank our speaker, our main murti of this day, Vijay ji, for enlightening us on such an interesting topic. And most of the people are learned over here, so I'm sure most of the people knew a lot of things. But yes, again, going through things and what you can say, refreshing your mind is something good that we can always be on the safer side of protecting ourselves on social media, found on Facebook of fake accounts, and then people keep ourselves updated and also make people aware about the certain problems happening around. And I think this was a great topic, and thank you, Vijay ji. And I would also like to thank all the guests who have joined us this evening or morning from various countries and allowing us to host them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, President-elect Dinesh. I now call the meeting to be adjourned. We are open for a second session.